Hey there, Jason Padolan from Up My Hockey, and I'm back with another Lessons from a Pro. For those who are familiar with this series, this is where I do long form content, and by long form I mean less than 10 minutes, but more than five, about a certain topic, a teaching topic that I think is relevant to players or their parents or the coaches that will help them, the players, achieve what they want to achieve. A lot of times there's so much focus on the physical skill development or on scoring goals or on creating offense that they're missing the bigger picture and what it takes to get identified and what it takes to continue on and move on in the hockey world. And consistency is one of those pieces. And that's what we're going to focus on today here is consistency. This clip is taken from an interview I recently had with Dennis Holland. Dennis Holland is an amateur scout for the Dallas Stars. He's been doing it for over 15 years, and it's his job to identify the top 17-year-old hockey players in Western Canada or in Western North America to see if they're able to be Dallas Stars, to hopefully one day wear a Dallas Stars uniform. Dennis travels around to the AJHL, the WHL, the BCHL, and anywhere in between, and it's his job to uncover these diamonds in the rough sometimes. And this clip is talking about Jamie Benn, who turned out to be one of the biggest diamonds in the rough. How an NHL player can lead the league in scoring, Jamie Benn did this one year, and come from a fifth round draft position is absolutely crazy, but it does happen. Jamie Benn has been the face of the Dallas Stars organization for the last 10 years, whereas the captain for them, and was an amazing find by Dennis, who saw him early in his scouting career. And Dennis talks about how Jamie Benn was discovered, how he got on the radar, and what had to happen for Jamie Benn to get drafted. So let's listen to what Dennis had to say about Jamie Benn.
He's a good player. Like, I'm not sure why he's not getting any love by anybody. Like, I'm seeing NHL attributes. Skating's got to come, but if it comes, there's going to be something there. And then I got to a point in the season where I said to Les Jackson, who was running our group at the time, and I said, Les, I got to have you come in. Like, I'm talking about a later round guy, and Les was usually at that point was worried about the first two rounds, the high end picks. I said, I'm still early in my career here. I think there's something here. Can you just come out? If you make a swing, can you go to the island and watch this kid for me? Goes through the island. He picks up the phone right after the game. He goes, we've got something here. You've got something. This guy looks like a player.
So now listening to that clip, I'm sure a lot of people hear different things. What I want to point out and what I want to emphasize here, which is maybe lost in that clip, is that Jamie Benn had to play well in that one game where the boss came to town. So Dennis had seen the player a few times, had watched him a few times, had finally got comfortable enough to make the phone call to his boss, the head scout, and say, hey, you got to come look at this guy. You got to see if what I see is what you see. And so he comes to town and he watches the game. What happens if Jamie Benn lays an egg in that game? What happens if he has a bad one? I'll tell you what happens. The head scout goes home. He tells Dennis that he didn't really have it, or he's not what we were looking for. Keep watching, or watch somebody else. But he happened to have a good game. Now, sometimes you can have the good game at the right time, and that maybe happened in this case. But my bet is, and judging by Jamie Benn's career, is that he brought his game consistently night in and night out. And that's the thing for hockey players. Sometimes we can fall in love with a past result. We can fall in love with a hat trick or this game that we thought played well. But the next game is the biggest game. The next game will be where that person's there watching you for the first time or is evaluating you and seeing what you bring to the table. So consistency matters. You need to impact a hockey game every time you step on the ice. Now, players usually get wrapped up in goals and assists. I have yet to meet a player that has scored or got an assist in every game they've ever played. So if that's the way you think you're going to impact a game, you're mistaken. Because as a scorer, you need to impact games other ways. right? You have to bring your tenacity. You have to bring your speed. You have to bring your skill. You have to contribute in other areas of the game other than just putting points on the board or playing on the power play. So in this scenario, Jamie Benn happened to put the pieces together at the right time. And then he was on Dallas Stars' radar, and he ended up getting a 5th-round draft selection. And who knows where he would have went if the Dallas Stars didn't take him. Who knows who else was watching him. Dennis speaks in the interview that nobody was ever there. He was one of 1 or 2 scouts in the building watching this guy who turns out to be the NHL scoring leader. So obviously a great find by Dennis and the Dallas Stars. And great for Jamie to be able to do what he did there to get recognized and to continue to progress and continue to produce and to continue to get better. But who knows what would have happened if that one day or that one lonely weekend where the boss came to town and he didn't have a good game. Life could have been a lot different. So you need to bring your consistency. And this is a skill that you can work on, players. And by a skill, I mean you need to think about, how do I impact a hockey game? What is going to make me noticeable out there? Of course, lots of us want to impact the games from an offensive production standpoint. But if you build your game around other attributes, like how you create those opportunities or what type of player you are when you are creating opportunities, whether you're aggressive, whether you're first on pucks, whether you're winning battles along the boards, whether you're holding the puck and being patient, you have to understand how you impact games so your consistency in those spots happens every game. You might not score every game, but you're doing these things and impacting the game every game. That's consistency. And that will help you move on, move forward, and get the scouts' attention no matter who is in the crowd on any given night. Play hard. Keep your head up.